All right. Good morning and welcome back to another weekly English lesson. I'm Gordon Morse, your natural English coach, and this time for this week's lesson. Oops. Okay. So, our first question of this week is, my friend said that clothes and clothes sound exactly the same, but not when I say them. Why is that? So I'm not sure you could hear when I said those two words before, but the words clothes and clothes are not exactly the same, but they're very, very close. The word clothes, like the things that you wear, that has a TH sound in the middle of it. So the tricky thing about the word clothes is that in Romaji, or in Japanese, the word is pronounced in a way that if you say it in English, people won't be able to understand you. So this is a very important word to pronounce correctly. In Japanese, you would say closes, or at least when you're speaking English, but sometimes when you're saying clothes with sort of a Japanese pronunciation of it. Closes. And if you say closes is something that if you're speaking to an English speaker, they will probably not be able to understand what you're saying. In fact, you want to say clothes. So for example, I need to buy new clothes for the party. Or we can say, his clothes were dirty, so we wiped them clean with a cloth. So that other word is very similar to clothes, but the sound is a little bit different. Cloth, cloth, and clothes. Notice that with the TH in each word, my tongue went between my teeth. That is the secret for getting a strong TH sound. The slight difference is that clothes, you can feel right here, your vocal cords are vibrating, which means that it is a voiced sound. Clothes. And when we say cloth, there is no vibration, which means it is unvoiced. So clothes and cloth, clothes and clothes. Again, very, very, very similar words, but just a little bit different. Don't worry about trying to make clothes and cloth or clothes and clothes different. Don't worry about that. Just make sure that you're pronouncing clothes right instead of closes. So here's our second question. My friend said that she's a great multitasker. Can you explain more about that phrase? So, some of you might know that when you look at words, there are parts of words that have their own meanings. And if you understand those smaller meanings, you can understand the meaning of the bigger word. So in this case, multi means many. There are a lot of words that use multi as in multiple of something, or multivitamin, or multi-use, multi-purpose, all those things. It just means many. And of course, task is something that you need to do. You have a task, which means you have something that you need to get done. So that means that a multitasker is a person who does more than one thing at the same time. This is considered a valuable skill at work or in your general life. So here's a couple of examples. I'm pretty good at multitasking. Leave this job to me. And she's a good multitasker, so she does well in school. As you noticed, there is a part before multitasker that either is modified by the adjective good, or you can say, I'm pretty good at multitasking, the activity. You don't necessarily say, I multitask. usually you say something about that. I'm a good multitasker, or I multitask very well, or you can say, I don't multitask very well at all. So it's more about how you do it rather than what you do that makes this natural. But anyway, multitasker, the person, or multitasking, the activity, are both very useful words when you're speaking natural English. The next question, people keep hearing right when I say light. What's wrong with my pronunciation? So here is what I call the big RL problem that happens with a lot of Japanese pronunciation. In English, both L and R are separate sounds from each other, and neither sound is the same sound as the Japanese L. That is a third sound that is totally separate, and that's the most important thing to remember. So, to make a strong L sound, what you want to do at first is to bite your tongue. Not hard, but just a little bit. La, la. That will help you make sure that you get the strong sound. La. Now, the R sound is a little bit trickier. R is actually one of the most different, or the English R is one of the most difficult sounds to master when you're trying to speak natural English, because not too many other languages have this exact kind of R, but that's what practice is for. So here's my recommendation. When you're trying to make the R sound, if you do it in Japanese, your tongue goes up towards the roof of your mouth. La. It goes above your teeth. But what you want to do is have your tongue curl downwards, kind of like a cat's paw, like a meneki neko, right? So you want your tongue to actually curl down when you're making that sound. So your tongue is actually touching the bottom of your mouth. It feels a little bit weird at first, but when you do it a lot, your R's will sound much more natural and people will be able to understand you better. So here's a couple of examples. The glowing light is growing brighter. So you have L, L, and then R, R sound. So again, try this sentence very slowly at first so you can really practice the L sound and the R sound. The glowing light is growing brighter. And the second sentence, turn right at the left-hand light. Turn right at the left-hand light. All right? I recommend practicing those two a lot. Question 4. My boss asked me to do something ASAP. I think this means quickly, but is this true? Yes, it is true. So this is a common acronym. An acronym is basically a word that is made up of other words. So usually each of these letters is a capital letter. So for example, FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, or USA, right? United States of America, or ANA, All Nippon Airways. Those are called acronyms. Some people say ASAP as ASAP, which is correct because that is what the acronym is. So ASAP or ASAP is an acronym for these 4 words as a phrase, as soon as possible. So it basically just means to do something as soon as you can. However, you can say ASAP, or you will hear some people very casually just say ASAP. So it's important to know that those two mean the same thing. I need those reports ASAP. Please give them to me. Or, the teacher will arrive soon. I need to do my homework ASAP. Or ASAP. And finally, we have question 5. How do you talk about a topic that you heard from someone else, but you don't know is true or not. So this kind of situation is called hearsay in English. In Japanese, you actually have clear forms for talking about these things. So you have grammar like nani nani sou datta if you heard it directly from someone else, or rashi if you are reporting information that you're not sure is true, but you want to show that. It's very convenient that you have these grammar forms. Unfortunately, we don't have, there's a lot more ways to talk about it in English, and there's not as convenient ways. However, 3 common ways that you can use are these phrases. It seems like something, or I heard that something, or supposedly something. These are 3 very common ways that you'll hear a lot when people are reporting hearsay. So here's a couple of examples. It seems that the train will be arriving soon. So if you knew that for sure, maybe by looking at the train timetable, you can just say, the train will be arriving soon. You definitely know that. But if, for example, you asked the clerk or you asked some staff member, then you could tell a friend, it seems that the train will be arriving soon. The next one is, I heard that Joe is planning to quit next week. So maybe you didn't talk to Joe directly, right? Maybe you just heard it from another person. So in that case, you don't want to be confusing, because if you just say, Joe is planning to quit next week, the person you're talking to will probably assume that you heard it directly from Joe, and that might cause a big misunderstanding. So if it's something that you didn't hear directly from the person or from another clear source, you can say, I heard that, and then whatever it is. Finally, supposedly, the new store will be opening this weekend. In this case, supposedly is kind of a very general, very useful word for saying, I think this is true, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% positive. So you can throw supposedly in front of anything to basically get that meaning. You know, supposedly it's going to rain tomorrow. Supposedly we have a test tomorrow. Supposedly this TV show is good. It's just a way of saying, I don't know for sure. All right, and as always, we're ending with a question for you. The question today is, are you a good multitasker? Why or why not? So remember what multitasker means. Is this something that you do often, something you do a little bit, or something that you never do? I recommend when you answer this question to record your answer on your phone or your computer. That way you can listen to your own answer later on and see the errors or your mispronunciation. Then you can record it again as practice. All right, thanks for watching as always. If you ever want to leave a comment on the live stream or on one of my past videos, I will be able to answer any questions you have, or, correct your English if that is something you're interested in. Also, if you want to take a totally free natural English assessment, you can check the website that's down at the bottom of the screen, and then I will answer you personally. All right, until next time, have a good week.